Thank you. No, I don't. Just go. Yeah.
All right, it's 7:01. I'm going to call the meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Our first item of business, Pledge of Allegiance. Sarah, would you lead us?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, all members of the Board of Selectmen are here and present. Couple of announcements. First of all, you'll notice it's really cold in here. There is no heat in the building, so we're making do the best we can. Parts on order. It's going to be fixed soon. So that's that. I'd like to ask that we observe a moment of silence for Abby Sauerhofer, who passed away this morning after a fairly long illness. If we could please have a moment of silence for Abby. Thank you. First up, we have some guests, and I'd like to take them first in case they have some travels on their way home. Debbie, do you want to introduce your guest this evening? Sure.
Committee is proud to have created and filled the positions of Youth Poet Laureate and Poet Laureate of East Windsor. Each role will have a term of 18 months. These two artists' resumes were very impressive. They both have many ambitious and creative ideas for engaging the community and sharing their love of poetry. We as a committee look forward to supporting them in their endeavors. Anum Khan is our Youth Poet Laureate. She had a prior commitment tonight and couldn't be here, but she did send a video introduction and a reading of an original poem. Allie McKenna is our Poet Laureate, and we will invite her up to introduce herself and read a poem in a minute. This is actually not her first poetry reading as Poet Laureate. Allie read an original poem at the American Heritage River Commission's first day hike. Also here tonight is the president of the Connecticut Coalition of Poets Laureate, Peggy Dietz Shea, to welcome Anum and Allie and to present them with a small gift. One last thing, Jeff Holcomb has offered to host an informal meet and greet and a poetry reading for Anum and Allie at the Agnes Gallery in the near future. And as soon as we finalize plans for that event, we will share them with the community. Now, welcome Allie McKenna, East Windsor's first poet laureate.
Hi.
I can start here as well. My name is Allie McKenna. I was a Poet Laureate. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Vermont with an English degree and a focus on writing. I'm very excited for this opportunity and really grateful for it. So thank you so much. I do have a short poem for you. It is a conversation. So I can look at some people. It's a conversation between two people. Take Route 5, you'll shave off 10 minutes. Yeah, but that mall is where your first crush lost our rabbit. Whoa, not that again. He said he was a magician. It's worse. I know you can't stay, but every time you come, it makes it harder to say goodbye. You know, at any time you could leave too. You know I won't. Wait, here, turn on to ride. That's where I took you when we heard. I don't understand why you still don't move. That lake is where you proposed to me, and I won't let the love be drowned out by the heartbreak. Let's take the long way home and smile at ghosts that dance and weave in between the mileposts. Thank you.
I have the video from Anum. I can share it. Did you want to introduce it, or you just want me to let it go?
She introduces herself.
Fair enough. How do I do that? Share. Oh. We're gonna do this. This may cause a little bit of feedback, but I'll get this. What exactly is the architect going to do?
Yeah.
They're now going to take, so CSG has a consultant that's worked with school officials to put together the educational specs that they're asking for. And what the next step is that they will take they'll take those ed specs and try and turn that into a set of architecture and preliminary engineering plans that will allow us to get a cost estimate, a more proper cost estimate on the projects. That way we can start the application process with the state and ultimately formulate something for voters' consideration. They're the ones who are actually putting the spec book together.
So are they gonna do similar to the police department, several options, or there's been a narrowing down of the options?
So there have been no formal discussions about reducing the options. I will tell you that when you look at what the financing is going to allow for, several of the options drop right off. And it's funny, I was in the conversation with the ed spec lady the other night. Her recommendation, because they're still way in excess of square footage, but her point was that the town can just settle for a lower reimbursement rate and shoulder more of the cost locally. And I said to her, no. Not only are we like not willing to do that, the math does not support that we are able to do that. And that's because of the amount of debt that we're able to carry. So there are some options that are just simply not feasible.
Well, I'm glad you said you questioned, not get the verbiage you use, but the space that they're thinking, because if you go to Enfield to their school, there's a lot of wasted space, in my opinion, and I don't think we can afford wasted space like that. The ceilings are way too high, that back room and the side rooms. It's an overkill. And I think it was done for future growth. But we don't have that same kind of future growth here in this town. So,
The ad hoc committee is going to meet next Wednesday, I think. And there'll be an update from CSG, probably with the ed specs too. And hopefully, if we approve GWWO as has been recommended, hopefully there will be some feedback from them as well. So when this process kind of first began back in June or so, the target for when things would really start rolling was after the first of the year, and we are rolling. Probably not as fast as a lot of people would prefer, and I absolutely understand that. But we are moving as fast as we are able to with the pieces that are in place. This will make things go a lot faster now.
just because I've been out of the loop. Don't know.
They had, CGS had said that, had said that, the, application needs to be by the very end of June. So the whole process.
Okay.
And for that part, and then, after that.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited. So we're kind of ready for us to kind of see what it's gonna involve into.
Questions or comments on the recommendation?
I have, I guess more of a comment. So normally I'd like to see the bids. And in this case, it's, I think I understand, Heather. So this is not the low bidder. And it's actually not it's not the highest scorer, but it looks like it's the lowest bidder with the highest score.
Correct.
Right? So it's a compromise. We're not picking the best. We're not picking the lowest price, picking the best combination. This was vetted at the building commission. Yeah. I'm
Visually got the packaging is huge. It was very hard to just even email to us.
right.
So, it was very.
So I'm willing to make, for me, an exception not to see the bids because you had this analysis done and because you explained how you did it with what you just said, both you and Wayne just said this, and then I'm gonna support it. But just so we know how it was done here on the records, minutes, so that in case one of these bidders comes in and says, well, I was the lowest bidder, you didn't pick me, or someone else comes in and says, I was the highest scorer and you didn't pick me, it was because you went for the best possible score at the most reasonable price, or you did an adjustment there. Makes sense. That's knowledge. And they're also actually located in West Hartford, which is a fairly local business too. Okay, thank you.
Other public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do we need to
We
make a
didn't
motion?
make motion.
Oh, wow, it's been a long day. So I would need a motion to accept the recommendation from the Permanent Building Committee to award the contract for feasibility and grant design services to GWWO Architects.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Well done. Okay. Next up is a pro forma resolution that we get every year. It's the master municipal agreement between the town and DOT for certain rights of way projects and funding associated with it. May I have a motion, please?
Gotta say that is the longest pro forma contract agreement. Public safety, I think up until now had the longest one. This is like ridiculously long.
The EMPG grant might be a scotch longer, but. Len, is there anything you want to add to this?
Any of our projects, we're now actually highlighting our box culverts. Different projects, they disperse the funds and. Matter of fact, like, I believe one of the engineers asked me to sign. Yes.
Well, hold on a second. They sent it on January 6th.
Well, this one may be different. There are several of these. It's basically, it allows them to disperse funds to us, be it FHWA federal fund, state funds for our project. We have several.
Make a motion that we,
There's a resolution. You need to read the resolution and name me by name and title.
gotta be shitting. All right. Resolved that the Honorable Jason E. Bauza, First Selectman, is hereby authorized to sign the agreement entitled Master Municipal Agreement for Rights of Way Projects, might add with the Connecticut Department of Transportation, adopted by the Board of Selectmen, Town of East Windsor, Connecticut, this 16th day of January 1925. I mean, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? The resolution, it's on
Page 4,000.
page 3, page 3. I'm going to ask that we table agenda item 9F, till after executive session.
So moved.
There a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will now take up 9G. So every year, this is a perennial request from the Broadbrook Library. Charter requires that any agency collecting funds from the town provide an audit. The audit costs are nearly equal to the amount that we would actually be granting to the Broadbrook Fire Department. So the history has been that the board will waive that waiver requirement, but we need to do it by an actual vote. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, sir?
Yeah, still a library, we're not the fire department.
Did I say fire department?
Yeah. It's okay,
Broadbrook Library. Thank you for the. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we exempt the Broadbrook Library for providing an audit to the town regarding funding.
Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion?
I ask Paul a question.
Sure.
Paul, do you have like, do you have records or books of any kind as far as
yes,
income and expenses and that sort of thing?
yes,
Do you ever share that or
yes.
anybody? Would you be able to, like, at some point, maybe I could see
In your
it?
packet.
I will.
It'll be in the package.
When you come in for your,
Budget.
thank you.
It'll be in the book.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tax refunds.
move to approve the tax refunds totaling $2,726.60.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Selectmen's reports, I don't have much to share this evening, other than pretty much every working hour since our last meeting has been devoted to meeting with the different departments and agencies and organizations requesting consideration in this year's budget. Amy and I are almost done with those initial conversations. I think we have one still to go. And then we'll be working on actually formulating what my budget recommendation is going to be based off of what has been submitted. I will tell you that so far, there hasn't really been anything overly concerning or exciting. That being said, we'll see what the numbers look like once the numbers go into the system. But for right now, I think this will be a pretty tame budget cycle. Again, we'll see when the numbers all get
Yeah,
crunched
just
together.
say,
It's going to be a quick meeting too. I mean, we'll just throw that out there. So that's it. It's really been all budget all the time, which I statistically really kind of enjoy. I view it like a puzzle. There's a lot of stuff you can accomplish if you can just figure out the right combination of stuff to accomplish. And it's going to be fun. Looking forward to spending more quality time with all of you. Marie.
I had three meetings scheduled since our last meeting. Two of them, Police Commission and the Housing Authority, both canceled. There was a meeting Monday night, but unfortunately due to a personal problem at home, I wasn't able to attend, but I understand the minutes have been posted for Park and Rec. So if you're interested, they should be online tomorrow morning. All I got.
Sarah.
Nothing to report this evening.
All right, Keith.
Oh, nothing to report. Can I ask though, for a future meeting, could we have a conversation with the police department about how the town is going to respond to what may be happening in terms of deportation issues? I don't want to have a conversation tonight, but I'd like to see if we can start a conversation with our police department as far as what the town's reaction and policy will be about that. That's it.
We don't set policy for the police department.
We have our town sets policy about,
But police department policy is set by the police commission.
I think we should have what I'm suggesting is we have a discussion about maybe that and about how we're going to respond to that or not, and who's going to make the decision or not. All I'm asking is that we have that discussion down the road.
I would think that's somewhat premature in my opinion, because it hasn't even come to fruition yet. But I'm sure it'll be something that we done not only on a local level, but on a state level as well as the federal level. So, but
Nothing else to report.
Al.
So I had both wetlands and planning and zoning, and they both had fairly light schedules, and both of them, the most important thing on the agendas got changed last minute. For the Wetlands Commission, the town had an application originally on the agenda for work at the dam heading, or dam inlet at Reservoir Park, but then they realized that that's covered under Deep's open permit and they're not answerable to the town's wetlands, so they pulled that. And so it was not, we'd have a couple violations going on over there at wetlands, but then the committee did work on reviewing the POCD stuff that is relevant to wetlands and, making sure that what we had in the last POCD, whether it needed to be updated or carried or dropped. And so we made those decisions. And then on planning and zoning, the 10-lot subdivision for Reservoir and East Road was put off again. So it's on its final postponement for the public hearing. So I imagine that's actually going to get heard in 2 weeks. Other than that, that's it.
Okay. Second opportunity for members of the public to address the board. If there's anybody here who would like to address the board of selectmen, please state your name and your address and your business. Asking once, Tom.
King's Court. Just one curious question. Do we ski our way out of here tonight?
He's going to be fixed by Monday. Any other public comment? Is there anybody online who would like to address the members of the board? Okay, we will have an executive session. It will include Len Norton, Helen Tots, and Brian McCann. May I have a motion, please?
I'll move that we go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are in executive session at 7:40. 40. Action will follow. It is 9:24. We're out of executive session. We'll now take up agenda item 9F, discussion and approval of the proposed tax appeal settlement between Northern Capital and the town of East Lyndon. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we authorize the first selectman to settle the tax appeal between the town of East Windsor and Northern Capital Region Disposal Facility.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. No further business to come before the board. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
Move that we adjourn at 9:25 PM.
Is there a second? Second. The motion was made by Sarah, seconded by Marie. It's non-debatable. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 9:25 PM.